You hear about it all the time, right? Backtesting. It's supposed to be this super important part of day trading. But honestly, so many traders get it completely wrong, and then they wonder why they're not making any progress. So let's just cut through the noise. We're going to dive into how to master this skill the right way, so every single minute you spend looking at the charts actually makes you a better, more profitable trader.
I love this quote from Juvier's Gems because it nails it. Can you imagine a pro basketball player who never, ever practices, never runs drills, never shoots free throws? They'd get absolutely destroyed on game day. Well, in trading, backtesting is your practice. It's your gym time. It's how you build the skill, the muscle memory, and the confidence you need to actually perform when your own money is on the line. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about why this is such an essential practice. Then, we'll get into the secret sauce, the one thing most traders completely miss. After that, I'll lay out the exact step-by-step method you can follow. And finally, we'll put it all together and show you how to turn all that practice and data into smarter, more profitable decisions. Okay, let's start with the foundation, the big why. The reason so many traders just spin their wheels and never seem to get better is actually pretty simple. They aren't practicing the right way. They're only showing up for the live games, which in trading is an incredibly slow, stressful, and, let's be honest, a very expensive way to learn. You see, the real point of backtesting isn't to just passively scroll through old charts. It's an active process. You're basically a scientist in a lab. You're stress testing your strategy, you're sharpening your eye for your setups, and you're building the discipline to follow your rules so you can execute without hesitation when it really counts. It's all about deliberate, focused improvement. So really, it all comes down to a choice. Without backtesting, you're pretty much just hoping to learn on the fly during the most chaotic moments. It's like trying to learn how to swim during a hurricane. But with backtesting, you're in the pool every day in a controlled environment perfecting your technique. The difference in your progress isn't small, it's night and day. And look, this doesn't have to take over your entire life. If you're serious about getting better, just aim for a minimum of 30 minutes a day. Of course, when you're just starting out, the more time you can put in, the faster you're going to build that intuition and that chart memory. Just think of it like your daily workout for your trading brain. Okay, now for the part that really separates the folks who are just messing around from the ones who treat this like a business. This is the secret that I'm telling you almost everyone misses. It has nothing to do with how many hours you stare at a screen and everything to do with what you do during those hours. And there it is. That's the whole ballgame right there. This is, without a doubt, the single biggest mistake people make. If you are not collecting data, if you are not tracking every single simulated trade you take, you are basically wasting your time. You're just sightseeing. You're not training. The data is what turns all that time into actual measurable progress. And this is where it gets really interesting, because all those little numbers, they start to tell a story. Sure, your win/loss rate tells you if your setup is working, but it's your risk-to-reward ratio that tells you if your strategy actually makes money, which is a huge difference. The day and the time, that starts to show you your personal rhythm with the market. You might even discover a hidden bias, like, wow, I'm way better at shorting than I am at buying, a blind spot you would literally never see otherwise. So here's your checklist. This is what you need to be logging for every single trade you take during a backtest session. Win, loss, or break even. What was the reason? The why? Was it your A-plus setup? How much did you make or lose? You can track it in ticks, or even better, in terms of your risk or R. And then the simple stuff. What day was it? What time? And was it a buy or a sell? This becomes your raw material for improvement. And I want you to really remember this. The simple act of opening a spreadsheet and logging this data puts you in a totally different league. This discipline, this is what builds a professional, data-driven edge that most retail traders, honestly, will just never have. All right, so we've covered the why this is so important and the what you need to be tracking. Now for the fun part. Let's get into the weeds and break down the exact step-by-step method you can start using, like today. Your absolute best friend in this whole process is going to be the replay feature. Most good charting platforms like TradingView have this. And what it does is simple, but it's pure magic. It completely hides the price action to the right of your screen. It forces you to make decisions in the moment without knowing what's going to happen next, just like in the real market. And this is the rhythm, the loop you get into. Step 1, you jump back to some random day in the past, so you have zero clue what's about to happen. Step 2, you do your homework, mark up your charts, find your levels, and make a plan. Step 3, you hit play and you trade the day.
candle by candle, executing based on your rules. Then, and this is key, once the trade is over, you pause and you do step 4. You log everything in your journal. Then, step 5, you just skip ahead to the next day and you do it all over again. This, right here, this mindset is absolutely everything. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. Don't cheat, don't peek at what's going to happen. The entire value of this exercise comes from simulating that feeling of uncertainty. You're not just practicing a strategy, you're training your brain to stay disciplined when you don't know the outcome. And this is exactly why just scrolling back on a normal chart is totally useless. It's because of something called hindsight bias. You know that feeling, right? Where you look at a chart from last week and think, oh, of course, that was such an obvious buy. Well, yeah, it's obvious because you can see what happened. The replay feature is your weapon against that bias. It forces you to live in the moment, which is the only place trading actually happens. So you've been doing the work. You've been logging your trades. What happens next? Well, this is where all that effort pays off big time. After you've logged, say, 50 or 100 trades, your journal stops being just a list of numbers. It literally transforms into your own personal trading coach, a coach that only tells you the cold, hard truth. And what you end up with is something that looks like this. Your data starts painting this beautiful, crystal clear picture of your unique trading personality. You stop trading some generic setup you found online, and you start trading your strategy, perfectly tailored to your personal strengths and weaknesses. The insights you'll get are they're game changers. You'll discover things like, wow, I lose money almost every single Thursday. I should probably just not trade on Thursdays. Or I make 80% of my profits in the first hour of the day. You'll find out the true win rate of your strategy, not what you think it is. These aren't just feelings or guesses anymore. These are statistical facts based on your own performance. And that is the huge transformation here. You move out of the world of hoping and guessing and feeling, and you move into the world of analyzing, optimizing, and executing. You stop being a gambler who's just playing the market, and you start acting like a professional who is managing a business based on a proven, data-backed edge. So, that really just leaves us with one final question. Right now, your trading journal is a blank page. It's a huge opportunity. What secrets about your own trading are hiding in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered? Well, there's only one way to find out. It's time to start filling that page, one trade at a time.
Please like and subscribe for more trading content, and then subscribe for more daily, weekly trading insights.